What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And whether this is the first ever video that you watch on my channel or you're a returning subscriber, thank you for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm currently getting ready to get the sting wash. If you remember in a few of my videos before, I mentioned that I was going to do my first ever gravel race in November 12th, and that's actually tomorrow. So I do got to get this thing washed. I've been putting in a lot of miles on it. Yesterday I went out with Eric and we did like a 72 mile gravel ride, and then same thing last Friday I did like 75 or so. And then throughout the week we do a lot of shorter, like 20 to 30 mile rides. So I've been putting in a lot of miles. I've been absolutely loving the gravel bike, and I'll show you guys what it is here in a second. You probably already know if you can see that, but I've been absolutely loving the gravel bike, man. Just being away from traffic, not having to worry about anybody else. It's just so nice, and that's one of the main reasons why I've been riding the gravel bike a lot, especially now that we're on off season. I do most of my Zone 2 rides on the gravel bike, but I'll turn around here and show you guys. So this is my 2023 Cervelo Aspero 5. She is the 5. And actually, I'll show you guys the bike, and we'll talk about the bike a little bit more here in a second when I do get it washed, because she's looking pretty dirty. But let me work on that. I'll get the bike washed, and then we'll talk a little bit about my plan for tomorrow. I'll show you guys nutrition. I am planning to take in between 100 and 120 grams of carb per hour. I'll probably be closer to the 100 mark. If I do, then that'll be absolutely perfect. The race was 87 miles. They ended up bringing it down to 70. I'm not sure why, but I mean, that's fine. I'm doing this race because, like I said, I've never done a gravel race before, and the Florida State Gravel Championships is in about a month from now. So I'm gonna do this race as practice for that, and then hopefully everything goes well tomorrow, and then we can do good at the Florida State Championships. But let me get the bike washed, guys, and I will actually go over the bike a little bit once she actually looks better and she's clean, and then I'll talk about sort of like the equipment and what kind of nutrition I'm going to be taking in. We'll talk about all of that through this video, but let me get the bike washed real quick, guys. Alright, guys, bike is finally clean. I will do a little bike check here real quick. So this is my Cervelo Aspero 5. It is an Aspero 5. It is the fully integrated one. I am running the newer SRAM 4 axis, as you can see right there. That is 10 to 44 cassette, I believe, and the front is 42. Now I do want to go bigger on that, just because I ride here in Florida, and honestly a 40 is it's a bit too small. I'm running my Look mountain bike carbon and titanium pedals. As far as the wheels go, this is a reserve 40, and then this is a reserve 44, and that's the depth of it. I got a Quarks power meter on it, got the Pro Logo saddle, the carbon Cervelo carbon sepals. Now all of this is pretty much what came on the bike. Oops. So this is what came on the bike originally. What I have changed so far is I changed the tires. I went with this Pathfinder, the S-Works Pathfinder, and these are 42s. The one that came on the bike were 38s. These are 42s, way more comfortable. I'm running 30 psi on the rear, 28 on the front. That's also what I'm going to be running tomorrow. You can see right there is the Cervelo Aspero 5. I am keeping the bar back. I'm gonna have a spare tube. I am running tubeless. I don't know if I mentioned, but I am running tubeless. But I'm gonna have a tube in here, and then I'm gonna have a tire plug repair kit just in case, and then some CO2s. Well, that is pretty much it, guys. Good morning, boys. It is 6 a.m. Got up at 4. Been driving since like 5, so I've been driving for almost an hour and a half now, and actually I left the house at 4:30, so I've been driving for an hour and a half. It is still pretty dark. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see me very well, but I am already pre-registered. I'm about 5 miles from the venue, and I just got to get there, get my number pinned. I already had breakfast before I left the house, and Feeling good. We'll see how it goes. First gravel race. I'm super excited for it. I think I mentioned before, but it was going to be 87 miles. They brought it down to 70. Not sure what the reason was, but whatever. It's all good. But yeah, let me get there, get the number, put it on the bike, and I'll catch you guys when there's a little bit more light, because right now, probably not going to be able to see me very well. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in a second. Alrighty guys, it is go time. Got hydration pack on, dressed up, bike is ready. I got the number pin. Got it. This freaking microphone fairy thing is annoying. Yeah, I got about 20 minutes to go, so I'm gonna go warm up and I'll catch you guys on the race start. Alright guys, so here we go, my first ever gravel race. And I know you're not in front of me right now, so you can't really see me, but the smile on my face is just incredible. Just looking back at this footage and just remembering like just the entire race and just how much fun I had. I mean, look at the view, guys. Look at the sky. It was a beautiful morning. It was just about 7 a.m. right here. Weather, temperature, everything was just perfect. And honestly, I didn't want to say this, all right, but I'm just going to put it out there. As some of you know, this is my first season racing and training, but I have done, I'm not exactly sure how much, but I've done probably close to 20 races this year, maybe even more than 20. And that includes crit racing, that includes road racing, and a few time trials. One thing I have not done yet is a mountain bike race, and I might be doing one this weekend, so stay tuned for that. It might be a video on the channel, just saying. But all right, so I'm gonna put it out there, guys. This is the most fun I had at a race this year, and I'm not even kidding. And some of you probably watched my state championship video where I became Florida state champion, and you're probably thinking, well, you're crazy, how are you having more fun here than you did at Florida States? And the thing is, Florida States was such a big goal A race for me that was not fun. I mean, winning the race obviously after is fun, but the whole lead up to the race and all the training and the hard work and just being there is very stressful, because you train so hard for this race. You want to make sure you leave this race with a good result. So I would say it is fun, but at the same time it's very stressful. Now this race was completely different for me. This was just for fun, just to come out, do my first ever gravel race. I've been enjoying the gravel bike a lot, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. And honestly, the race was very dynamic. It was very it wasn't really what I was expecting. I was expecting that we would be just, you know, kind of cruising around, not so much like a road race. And you can see the we're like on this levee, and luckily it's just higher up than the actual road down below, so there is no water. It is pretty clean for the most part. There is some holes and rocks and things like that, but honestly it was actually pretty clean, pretty good. So we were just rolling along, and I thought we were going to do this for I don't know, the race, like I said, the race was supposed to be 87 miles, and they ended up putting it down to 70. I'm not sure why, but I thought the race, so I had it in my mind, I thought the race was going to be about 4 hours, and it ended up being about 3 hours and 15, I think I finished it in. And honestly, there goes the first attack right there on the right. Actually, that is not even the first attack. If you've been watching the video from the beginning, there was actually a few attacks. And when I started the video, guys, that was literally the race start right there. The first like, and this was, you can see this was pretty threatening. So I was like, oh no, I can't let these guys go. So I kind of put in a little bit of a dig to at least keep the gap and not let them just grow their gap, and hoping that a few other riders would come with me and sort of try and help me. I'm not trying to drop the group perhaps, but just get somebody to help me. But that ends up coming back, and we're all back together again. But when the video started, guys, that was literally the beginning of the race. And as soon as we were let go, because the first initial part of the race was this guy's like on the grass right there. The first initial part of the race was neutralized for a little bit from the start finish through like a little bit of pavement, and then we went up to where we're at right now, like this little like hill, very short little kicker, and then that's when the race started. And as soon as we got let go and the race started, it was just pretty much full on. And you can see the group was pretty big, to be honest. And okay, so I didn't mention what category I was racing, I don't believe. So I am racing the open category, obviously, because I am 29 years old. I just turned 29, so there's open, and then there's 40, 50, and 60 plus. But and then there's 70-mile category, 70-mile distance. I'm sorry, which is what I'm doing. I think it was like 71. And then there's also 45, and there's also like I think it's like 25 or 20 or something like that. So obviously I'm doing the longer distance. It was 87 miles. I brought it down to 70. Not sure why, but it doesn't really matter. So for the first like 45 minutes to an hour, which is what you're watching right now, it was pretty much like this. Just the group was staying all together. We were going pretty fast. I mean, I was surprised how fast we were going, just being on this like gravel. I mean, it was my first gravel race. I was expecting that we would sort of be cruising for the first like 1.5, 2 hours, and then on the last hour people were going to start attacking, trying to get a gap. But it honestly did not play out that way. It honestly played out just like a road race on gravel, which was amazing. I loved it. And as you can see, the group here is still all together. There's a lot of guys behind me. My idea or my plan for the race was to stay towards the front. I did not want to get shuffled back. As you can see, I mean, the road here is pretty wide, but when the lane, you can see these guys just elbow. I don't know if he's just pretty tired already or what, but he just elbows me through. I mean, I was coming through regardless because I'm not letting the front group go here, but there was constant attacks the first like 45 minutes. And right now we're coming into there's like this straight ends, and then there's like a timing loop on the ground that you have to go over, and all we have is the space that you're seeing right now. So you're seeing these two lanes. That's literally what we have to turn around. There's a timing loop on the ground, and then a few meters after that there's a cone on the ground. So everybody has to go over that timing loop to get your time in, and then you have to go past the cone and make a U-turn and come back around. So and this is what you're watching right now. And as I was about to say, it got pretty hectic. I mean, I wasn't in the best position at that time. I was kind of a little bit too far back, and you have to go through the timing loop or your time would not register. You can't cut any shorter than that. So you can see right here, I definitely burned the match, just because the people that go through there first, if they attack like just did here, they can put in a pretty nice gap onto everybody else, just because everybody else, you're pretty much unclipped from your bike, just walking your bike to make a U-turn, and you have to go around the cones. There's actually people there on a tent, and they're watching you, and they're making sure that you go around the cone. So I definitely burned the match here, but we're still less than an hour into the race. I'm not ready to lose the race. And if you can tell, this is not even the front group yet, guys. If you look ahead, there is another group, and so I didn't want to jump across, although I kind of went to the front and put in a little bit of a dig here. I just breached across to this group because I didn't want to be too far back. I didn't want to get dropped. I didn't want my race to end pretty much in the on the first hour of the race. So I breached up to that group, and then now I'm putting a solid dig here on the front because the other riders seem to be sort of too comfortable with just letting these guys go, and they weren't really, I didn't feel like they were too worried, or maybe they didn't care, or maybe it's just that competitive mentality that I have. Some of these guys probably that race gravel, they come out here for fun, and they don't have that competitive mentality, I guess, that maybe some of us actually do race, like road racing and crits and things like that. So these two guys actually do end up pulling through. Nobody else does, so a gap ends up opening again. But we were just about to catch the riders in front, so I wasn't too worried about it. I didn't want to sprint up to them again. So here once again we all just pretty much come together. I get behind the screen guy here just to get a little bit of a draft, because guys, even though I mean, on the video you probably can't tell, but we're going over 20 miles an hour. And spoiler alert, we average almost 22 miles an hour for 3 hours and 15 minutes. I mean, the race was on the entire time. I think it was like 21.8 or something like that for me that I finished on the second group. And you guys see why at the end here. It was very unfortunate how everything played out. I was with this guy here on the left with the BMC. Which you'll see here in a second. We were actually on the breakaway, and well, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but so right here was sort of just rotating. This guy elbows me through. I come through, and here I remember I was like, man, I can split the group right here maybe. So I put in a pretty nice I come to the left because some of the lanes sometimes will be bumpier on one side than the other. So I come over to the left, and I put in a pretty nice dig here, expecting that I would be able to get these guys motivated, and we'll be able to actually split the group and make it smaller here. Although we're only an hour into the race, if we can get the group smaller and get guys that actually want to work, and that way if something happens and you do end up getting shuffled back, there's not like 20 riders in the group. So once again, like I said, I'm fully committed. Like, I barely took a break, and I'm already again on the front, just putting another dig, just to get the guys motivated. And as you can see, there's other people that were on the group that are getting dropped, that are coming the opposite way, because right now we are going back the same way that we came towards the timing loop that I spoke about before. So you have to be very careful. In the beginning, we have both lanes. We can use pretty much either lane that we want, but going back, there's riders coming the opposite way. And then once you're about an hour and a half or so into the race, there's the other riders from the other categories, the shorter categories, which you'll run up into them as well. So you have to be very careful. There was riders, and this is an open park, so there was people, these guys in the aero bars there, there's actually people who walk and run. So this is an open park, so you have to be very careful here. So as you can see, the group was still pretty big, and honestly, I wasn't too sad about it. But like I said, you see, I was in the front, and 2 seconds later, look how far back I am. And that's what I didn't want to do, because if something goes, and it did go, you're about to see that in a second here, I was not going to be able to maybe not even see it. Now, looking back at the footage here, it's pretty clear, but you can see you see those guys up the front there. I don't think at the moment of the race, I didn't realize that those guys were, there was actually an attack going on the front when you're behind. See, there's guys. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's guys coming towards us. So right here, there's those guys. There was sort of an attack that I missed. I did not even see it, just because I was too far back in the group. And that's why I wanted the group to be a little bit smaller, and I committed some energy to it. But you can see, like, everybody's just pretty comfortable. There's two guys there with the same jersey, same kit. So they're teammates. One was talking to the other one, and I think one said, "Oh, I'm too cooked. I can't do this." So and then you can see the other one right here, sort of, he's not really attacking, but he must have seen something that was threatening. So I kind of just sat on his wheel here for a second, and you can see there's two guys attacking. And I think at this moment, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, you can see there's actually guys off the road that you cannot even see on the footage. Obviously, the camera makes it look like that. I could see them at this time, but on the camera, you can't even see them, guys. They were pretty far. So I come to the front. That guy that you guys just saw there on the aero bars, that dude is super strong. He wins a lot of races. So there I ended up attacking the group and try to just breach to them solo. I feel like everybody was just too comfortable. I end up bringing this one rider with me. And I was glad that he did, because he put in some massive pulls. Now, they were not the smoothest pulls. I was kind of pissed. You can see he opens a gap every time he pulls through. So I'm in the front, guys, doing 400 watts here on my pulls. And then when he comes through, rather than smoothly pulling through, for me to be able to just get on his wheel, he just like rips probably like 600 watts. Like, I was like, chill, man. Like, I didn't say anything, but in my mind, I was like, chill, dude. We need to relax. I don't want to blow up. We need to get to these guys. And actually, we do end up coming across to the group in front. I think at this time, there's about 6 of us, and you'll see there's this one guy in front of me, and there's actually 2 guys in front of me here, and there's about 3 more guys behind me. And we ended up rotating pretty good. But at this point here, we had already dropped I think like 3 or 4 of the other riders. So at this point, it's only 4 of us. It's this rider here, the guys from City Bike on the orange, and this guy right here, which ends up getting dropped here in a little bit. He was attacking since the beginning of the race. Like, this dude is really strong. I personally know him. I have raced with him before. Super strong. But he was just so active in the beginning of the race. He was attacking the entire time, like non-stop. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. So I think I attacked him once, and then nothing happened. And I thought it's just too soon. Everybody's too fresh. We gotta wait. But this right here was about an hour in, so this was this was the perfect timing. And this other dude right here on the orange BMC, super freaking strong. Like, I did not know who these guys were, except for the one right here on my right. I didn't know who these guys were coming into the race, and even here with them on the break. Like I said, at this point it's just 4 of us. And then this guy right here starts struggling. He was struggling for a little bit. He was already skipping pools. He wasn't coming through, and I was okay with it. I didn't really mind. But right there, he was kind of struggling, barely pedaling. He was pedaling square, so I knew I had to come through. So this is the first gate drop here. I came in a little too hot, so I had to unclip. And the other 2 riders just kind of, I didn't feel like they really attacked, but they definitely, you know, try to get up to speed quick. And at this point, I'm feeling so good, guys. It is crazy. I was feeling incredible, so I was never worried that I was going to get dropped. I knew I was going to be able to get back onto them. And like I mentioned before, I'd never done this course, so I didn't know what was coming up. And so we ended up dropping the other rider back there. And then right here, we're coming up to another gate jump, guys, and this is where the race, it was very unfortunate that this is what ends up sort of deciding the race for me. So we ended up doing the same exact loop once again, right? So it's 2 laps for the other guys. So for the 40-mile one, it was 1 loop. For us, it's 2 loops, so it's 71 miles or so. And so this gate right here is what ends up deciding the race. Not at this time, this is the first lap, but this exact moment here on the second lap, we end up having one guy bridge to us. That dude was insanely strong. He ends up coming across with 2 guys, and then I think one of the guys crashed, takes the other one out. That's what I heard the story after the race. The other guy crashed, takes the other one out, and he ends up coming to us solo. And at that gate jump right there, I couldn't clip in, and then him and the guy in the orange BMC end up attacking and putting in a massive gap on us. And then the guy who's in front of me right now, he was just skipping pools right before it, and for the last 10 miles, just from there all the way to the finish, he never came through. He never gave me a single pool, so I pretty much had to let first and second go, which was a bummer. And he didn't do any work. He didn't help me. So I sort of just sat at like endurance pace, and looking back at it, there's a lot of things that I would have done differently. And obviously he ends up beating me on the sprint, which I don't have any footage of, which was a bummer because I would have gotten a podium on my first ever gravel race. But guys, now let me tell you guys who these 2 guys are, because I had no idea coming into the race, right? Or coming into a race, I did not know anybody, and I did not know who these 2 guys were, even when I was on the breakaway with them. And so the guy that you just saw, this guy right here on the Castelli, he's a P12 racer, super strong. He's actually the Florida state champion for the age category, so I think 23 to 29. He's a champion. And then he also won like some pretty big races here in Miami, luckily, and also in Venezuela, where he's from. But like I said, I did not know who he was. And then also the rider who got second place that ends up breaching and going away with him, he's also a P1. I think he's a Cat 3 maybe, I'm not sure. Super strong dude. And the kid who ends up beating me for third, that didn't actually help me at the end, so I had to let first and second go. That kid he actually just raced at SBT Gravel and finished 13th. This guy right here, which is absolutely insane, guys. He finished 13 on the pro category as well. So I mean, I was definitely riding with some hitters here, which actually makes me really happy. And I'm upgrading to category 3. I already requested my upgrade. I'm not sure if it's been processed or not yet, but I definitely have the points. I am ready to go to Cat 3. And the fact that I raced with these guys and how good I felt like at the end, at least I felt stronger than them. I feel like I was putting in stronger pools. Maybe I was being a fool and I was actually working harder than I should have, but I just felt incredibly strong. And yeah, it was just a bummer that that's how it ends up playing out. And yeah, so I ended up taking 4th place, guys. Like, I was very happy with the race. I had a lot of fun. It was incredible, and this was all practice for the race that's coming up in about a month's time, which is the Florida State Gravel Championships. And for that one, we're definitely going full in 100% to try and take the Florida State jersey. It will probably be the same guys because I'm going to be racing the 23 to 29 category, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys, if you don't want to miss that video, make sure you smash that subscribe and the like button, guys. We're so close to 1,000 subs. It is crazy. I mean, I've been putting in a lot of work. Hopefully every video gets a little bit better and better, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. But if you do enjoy it, guys, make sure to show some love to the video, smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.